Okay, yeah, so episode 2 of the Nomads Journal. My second ever event as well here at K-Jam. There's people around us packing up. It's been a mad day. Yo! These are the guys sort of involved in it. If you guys want to introduce yourself.
I'm Joey. I was one of the judges here today. It was my first time judging other side of the judges table for change. But it was good, it was exciting, and everyone rode really well. It was impressive to see.
How about yourself?
I'm Nate. I've been involved with British Snowsports, not directly, for about 14 years, but only been a judge for the last year or so. This was my second K-Jam. So prior to this, we've ran events sort of all over Europe and kind of all over the world. So
love that.
I was never really a competitor, but I kind of like to judge the people who do it.
Yeah, man. Yeah, solid.
My story in a nutshell.
Yeah, cool.
So I'm Gillian. I used to compete quite a long time from university, so I've been on the other side of the judging, so I kind of know how it works and what to expect to be on the other side, to be judging for the first time today. And I also used to compete at K-Jam almost maybe a decade ago, and I remember it being a really fun competition, and they got really good sponsors and really good prizes, and it was a really good vibe, so I was really happy to be helping out at such a good event, and to be learning a bit more about judging.
Yeah, cool. And yourself?
I'm Martin. I'm involved with Snowsports England. I've also been judging for 20 odd years at various events. Abroad tends to be moguls and aerials, but in the UK more park and park, things like the K-Jam and stuff like that.
So cool.
As well as the organisation stuff behind the scenes, the judges' cards, tabulation, making sure the results get put online, things of this nature.
Nice. So quite like a variation between all of you. Obviously, you guys have been on the other side of the judging and stuff like that. How sort of was it being like the actual judge for once?
A lot less stressful.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I know it's pretty tense when you're the one being judged, so you feel sorry for the guys up there.
You know how it feels.
Yeah, we know how it feels, but it's good for them. It was all in all, it was at the end when you're tabulating everything, trying to get everything right. You're double checking, triple checking, because you don't want to. You want to be as fair as possible,
yeah,
and
for sure.
It's definitely hard in a sport like this, not like racing where it's clear cut.
Someone's first, someone's second, someone's third. It's pretty. They pass that line, and it is what it is.
In that, but it's definitely different in this sport. So definitely learned a lot, but enjoyed it, and hopefully get to do it again.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I second that. It's a lot less stressful. I didn't get hot and dehydrated. It's been a really hot day today.
It has. It's been
I would have been
heat.
roasting. I did a few laps after the competition, and I was so hot after just 2 runs. But yeah, it's nice to be sat down, getting free burgers, ice cream, and not have to worry about falling over and injuring myself.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
It was nice to be on the other side of the table for once.
Yeah, nice. How is it in terms of actually, like we sort of said, with racing, you pass that line and it is what it is, but judging this type of sport where everyone's sort of doing something a little bit different as well. Obviously, so for the guys watching, we've had under 12s, under 18s, over 18s, in both men and women, and then also snowboard as well, right?
Yeah.
A lot of categories.
That's a lot of categories, a lot of people on the slope at the same time. How does it sort of work, I guess?
So the best way that we try to do it is, obviously here we split it, so we had 6 judges, 3 and 3. 2 and 3 actually, but so we had people doing the over 12 boys on the jumps first, and then we did the rails afterwards, and then the other judges swapped over, so we can get people racing simultaneously at the same time. But as you quite right said, it's a jam session, so people are going all the time, and you will miss things.
Yeah.
But if people are doing they've got 45 minutes, half an hour or so. You're going to see something in that time.
Yeah.
And then you make notes of the best tricks that you see, and then rank people accordingly.
Nice.
The main thing is, by having an overall ranking, it makes life easy because you can work out any categories thereafter.
For sure.
If you rather than just trying to pick out 1, 2, and 3 in a particular thing, that's quite difficult. But if you just rank everybody, then retrospectively you can work out, whatever it was that you want to achieve.
Cool.
I think just to add to that as well, but if you're looking for something just a little bit different, like if someone hits something you think, oh,
not seen that before,
yeah.
or like not seen it executed like that before.
Yeah, or if they're going for something and they might not get it, but they might get it on the second or third run, then there's always that opportunity that they can climb up.
Cool.
So yeah, it's really interesting to see, and I think today we had the two twins who were really pushing each other in the snowboarding.
And one got first and one got second, is that right?
Yeah, so
Crazy.
Those guys came out sort of absolutely on fire.
Yeah.
Even in the rail section, they were just straight on it, and you could kind of see that as soon as one did one trick, the next guy was mirroring it, and they just kind of match each other. So when you've got a sort of a dynamic like that, it was awesome.
There's a competition within just those two, isn't it? They probably forgot about everybody else and was just like, nah, I'm going to beat my brother.
And in the end, it was so close between them, there was literally sort of nothing to pick
one
between.
landed a 7, one didn't. But it was like we had to keep watching every single move they did in case one landed one extra thing, and
that's so cool though. Like,
because they'll know as well. They'll know what their brother did.
I
did this and he didn't, so you got to be on
and
it.
And I'm a twin as well, so I know what it's
like.
Sick.
Okay,
she
nice.
doesn't ski, but like we were brought up like that, and you can tell that we're twins because we're so competitive with sports and stuff. So now I know they're twins. It makes sense to me.
I grew up with two brothers, and like it was even stupid stuff like who could do the most kick-ups, and I hate football, so and I still won, but that's fine. But yeah, I don't know, like me, I'm from North Wales. I live in South Wales at the minute, and I've not really heard of K-Jam before, and like sort of came here as one of the sponsors, and obviously had a stall here and stuff like that, and it was so cool, especially last night when people were just chill, and it was like getting practice runs in and stuff like that. Like, I don't know what I was expecting, and I knew the talent was going to be good, but I was just like, oh my god, like that is insane. And I guess like you guys have seen people from even in different countries and stuff like that. Like, what do you think about this sort of setup here, and like compared to what you've seen out there? Because obviously they're coming through as well. There's some people like there's under 12s for God's sake who are just like, I really want to do it, and it's nice to see that passion.
There's definitely a few events like K-Jam. There's one down in Norwich, and then there's one in Stoke, the Oak Jam, which is towards the back end of the year.
Yeah, nice.
And I guess it's just an opportunity for like the future of British snow sports to really showcase themselves. It's an absolute joy to come somewhere like here because Kendal have got it really well set up. I came for the first time last year and booked it in my diary that I was coming this year regardless.
Nice, I love that.
My biggest regret from last year was that I didn't stay for the after party, which is changing this year.
Good, nice. So, I forgot about the after party.
Okay.
We were here yesterday and they were like, because I've got my tent box now and I'm
I've
11
got
live.
too.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
okay, sick. Thank God I'm not the only one.
Yeah.
And literally, like, I was like talking to a few people and I was like, so this after party, and they were like, yeah, you've got to come. I was like, I can't wait. I'm hoping to get a few more people on interviews there as well, but I'm just like, after a couple of pints that might be a bit risky, but we'll assess that.
Yeah, climbing up the ladder drunk is probably not the best idea.
Oh yeah, true, I didn't think of that far ahead.
Have to be just sober enough to get up the ladders. I've got a point to make about jams as well. From a competitor point of view, it's a lot more chilled, and also once you've landed something, you don't have to think, that's my run and that's done now. You can build on that and try something new. Okay. So for example, one of the girl skiers, she tried a backflip for the first time because she landed some of her stuff and the other girl was helping her, and that was really nice to see.
That's so cool.
And it stuff like maybe, for example, the Brits, you get maybe 2 runs, maybe a rail jam later if there's time. Yeah. But you don't get much runs for your money, and also once you've landed your thing, it's like you've got to try and get it in your run rather than having to land something new. So when I was competing, I liked doing the jams because once I landed my one off a rail or my ball slide on a rail, I'd be like, right, well, I've got to try a new trick on the rail now, I might as well. Yeah. And then I learned to switch stuff on rails because I had to learn something new. That's cool. It's a really good progression tactic to try and get people learning new stuff. But then also for the kids coming up through the ranks like grassroots, it's good to get their name out there because if they're not necessarily the top 3 in the whole country and they're not placing up the Brits, it's hard to get sponsorship. And kids go up in size for skis so quickly, and it's really expensive for the parents. So it's very useful for them to get their name out there and get some sponsors, which is probably useful for you guys to then come here and then see who's killing it. So it's good for the grassroots as well to do things like local dry slope jams and
that's a good point about the jam format. It's it's definitely a nice way of doing it, especially for the Groms. You know, I compete in free ride, and that's one run and no practice, and that's your whole day.
Daunting.
And so
that's
if your ski pops off on the first turn, then that's it. Your run's done.
Can I say you're really sick at free ride, by the way?
I suppose that's the nature of free ride, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's by definition of where you are and how you get there.
Exactly.
You don't really get the option of.
Yeah. There's no jam formats in the
No.
There is 2 runs sometimes in Scotland.
But
the Scottish Freedom Series sometimes has 2 runs.
But I suppose that's kind of like a one-off type thing in that sort of area.
Yeah,
it's normally
definitely
what he says.
Yeah.
But the other thing we were saying about like coming down here, and you were saying, you know, how does it compare? I must say, really impressed with the level of riding.
Nice.
It was really, really cool to see all the kids pushing it so hard. And you know, like British Snowsports has dealt with some like tough blows over the years. You know, things like the Snowdome in Glasgow shutting down and stuff like that. But to see still so many kids out there getting after it, even in May. It's awesome to see, and so it's the future of snowsports in the UK looks good.
It does. Yeah. It looks impressive, and it looks bright, I'd say. Like, and that was definitely, I think, the thing that sort of got me, like, I don't know, I didn't really grow up around like skiing and snowboarding and stuff. Like, I see a hell of a lot more of it now, like with the job that I've got. But then, like, we're dealing with like Tanner Hall and stuff like that. Like, he's like one of like the sponsored riders at work and stuff, and it's like, you know, he's a dude who's been around for years, and he's had time to sort of perfect his craft and stuff, and then coming here and seeing like literally under 12s absolutely send it, just literally going full send, and just like today, I'll try a backflip for the first time, why not? Sorry?
Yeah.
Crazy.
I'm asleep as well.
But no, I think that's really, really cool, and I think like you said, the future definitely looks bright. I don't know. What was sort of like, with that in mind, what was sort of like your favourite tricks that you've seen today then, or like, is there anyone that sort of stood out? Like,
I have to give a shout out to that girl. It's Sasha. She did a Misty's 5.
Alice.
I saw that.
Oh, yeah,
she did Misty 5 and then switched 3 the low
Sandra.
roller.
Sorry, yeah.
Oh yeah. I've got a few clips. She's insane.
And she did like 540s, freeze with grabs, backflip, like any trick. She was doing it. So she definitely one to watch. I think she might be on the English Snowsport development squad or something.
Cool.
That's good that she's on that. She'll be one to watch for future. Maybe even competing in Europa Cups when she's old enough. I don't know how old she is now. She'll be aiming for that, I think.
Oh, definitely, that's sick.
Be cool to say I judged her.
Definitely.
On TV one day. But yeah, all the girls are really, really good. I was impressed. And then the guys skiing, they were absolutely sending it as well.
The guy, the 2 brothers doing the invert stuff, because it did stand out. I mean, it was awesome to see guys just sending it off them kickers.
Yeah.
But as soon as you start throwing an invert in over a quarter pipe, that twigs something, and you just think, you're not afraid to try that. It looks a bit different compared to what others are doing. And for me, that's what freestyle is all about. Just being a bit different, not sort of doing a 180 grab.
No.
Just push it, do something different, you know, make a name for yourself, and I think that's what a lot of people do. If you look at people, I'm going to use this as probably a really good example, like Mia Brooks at the minute. She's probably one of the best riders we've got from the UK, if not the best snowboarder at the minute. And when you watch her style, she was trained by a guy called John Weatherly, used to ride in the Chill Factory. What was it he used to run? Booby Trap. Yeah, that was it. And he sort of progressed her riding, and then Mia just became fire. Like, everything she did became fire, and her riding style is so unique compared to a lot of the other riders out there. So it's about being different. I think snowboarding always had that culture of being different, and she sort of embraces it and does it better than most, I would say. Seeing an invert. Getting back to the point, sorry.
No, you're good.
Complete tangent there.
That happens a lot on these, don't worry about that.
Those inverts today, that was cool.
Sick, yeah, man. What about yourself?
There was a bunch of people that really impressed me. You know, some of the U18s, particularly that category, U18s ski is like you say. There's people doing some crazy stuff. The girl who did the Misty 5 to switch 3 over that wasn't even the category I was judging, but I spotted it out the corner, man. I was like, that was cool.
Yeah.
You know, there was guys doing switch 7s on that jump, which is not a very big jump, but then also seeing some of the younger ones, you know, the littler guys trying to do 50-50s on a really, really, really long blue tube, and like doing spins out of rails and things like that. You know, I couldn't do that when I was their age.
But then I suppose the other thing is, you know, where the DJ got them doing stuff on the long gas thing as well.
Yeah, just on the fly. He was like, oh yeah, if you do this trick, then like we will get like a spot prize or whatever. Like that was really cool.
It's clever the way it did that, because it was getting towards the end where they get more tie and everything else. So it naturally got them doing something. Well, otherwise they perhaps wouldn't.
Yeah, nice.
Kids will learn a free trick for any trick for a free t-shirt.
Yeah, literally.
Free hat, I'll do that.
Yeah.
And then before you know it, you've learned 3 new tricks. So.
Yeah, and I think like the thing that gets me is just how chill they are with it all. I'm like, do you not like? I'm an outsider very much looking into it when it comes to this sport in particular, and I'm like, do you not realise what you just did? And they're like, no, it's right.
Zero fear.
And then, literally, and then they're just heading straight back up as if they didn't just complete like the maddest trick.
Half a backflip and land on their head, and then go up and then try it.
Literally. I was the amount of times that I was on that stall and you just did boom, and I was like, oh my god, and I looked at everyone and everyone was just like, yeah, well done. I'm like, okay, so they just absolutely sent it on their head probably, and they're back up there. Innit? Resilient, I think, is definitely the word I'd say.
It's funny how big before you've done a new trick, and those kids will have the same feeling before they've done it. You know, it'd be their first backflip or something, and it seems it's huge in their head, and they're scared, and they get themselves worked up, and they're nervous, and they're getting themselves psyched up to try it, and then they do it, and then they're stoked, and then it just becomes normal, and it's like, okay, what's the next thing?
I think that's
and like you say, and then you're looking at it going, but you just did a flip, is that not crazy? And they're like, well, you know, I've done it a few times, and now they're looking for the next way they can push themselves, and I think that's really cool, is it?
Cool.
To see them always wanting more, always wanting to go further and push it.
Yeah. How about yourself? What was your favourite sort of trick that you've seen?
I suppose there was a thing I was taking out earlier about the DJ trying to push people, just doing something not a particularly difficult trick, but just keep doing stuff on the rails.
Yeah, and just on the
fly.
fly.
Then you go to the classic cloud prees, haven't you? You know, the switch backflips. The things which are a little bit different, which people kind of like to watch.
Yeah, definitely.
It's just, you know. And it stands out. Not many people do it. So
the scary ones as well. Switch backflip. That's scary. Mm-hmm. Everyone wants to see you do something
especially
scary.
Especially on that when you got to jump straight after.
Yeah.
You know? Like 2 rollers
switch
straight
backflip.
After.
Literally.
And also one of the bowlers, I think it was the one that won. I can't remember his name. Number 6, the bib number 6. He was doing some like layback 5-0s on the boxes and stuff like that.
Tail presses. Tail presses.
Yeah. So he was doing some good different things on there. So it was nice to see. Cool. The odd trick that wasn't necessarily spin to win thing, so but they were just so good. It was very impressive.
Amazing. Oh well, yeah, man. I know. Thank you very much for this. I know, short and sweet, but there's an after party. There's a pint to be drunk. So you know, and you guys have had a really long day, but I appreciate the sort of 10-15 minutes that you've given.
No, thank you very much.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, for sure. And you know, I think it's not the start because it's been going on for a hell of a long time, but like we were sort of saying, the snow sports in the UK is definitely one to watch.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, man. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Cheers.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.